Consider the moment when you feel like giving up. At that very instant, your brain may be forming new connections that lead to a breakthrough. Recent 2024 data from Stanford's Neurolab suggests that a spike in stress, which often feels like a signal to stop, can actually be a starting point for growth. In this video, I will explain how to use this process to your advantage. We will move beyond simple encouragement and discuss the science of what happens in your brain during difficult times. After reviewing over 80 research papers, one concept stood out: neuroplasticity. This refers to the brain's ability to change and adapt. When you face challenges, your brain can physically reorganize itself. This means you have the ability to train your brain for resilience. The myth of the born resilient. Some people appear to be born with resilience or grit. While Angela Duckworth's 2006 West Point study brought this idea to prominence, a 2023 meta-analysis of 67 studies shows that genetics play only a small role. The majority of our resilience is developed. For example, fMRI scans reveal that 8 weeks of facing deliberate challenges can thicken the prefrontal cortex and reduce activity in the amygdala, resulting in 3 millimeters of measurable change. This shows that resilience is a skill that can be developed. Stress as signal, not sentence. Stress often feels overwhelming, causing a racing heart and sweaty palms. However, it is possible to reframe this experience as a signal from your body. The hormones cortisol and adrenaline help to mark memories, making them easier to recall later. A 2024 Harvard study demonstrated this by tracking medical residents. Those who took 5 minutes before bed to write down 3 stressful events reduced their chances of burnout by nearly a third after 6 months. They experienced the same difficult situations but responded to them more effectively. The neuroplasticity loop in plain English. Neuroplasticity is not a mysterious process. It follows a 4-step cycle: a trigger, focused attention, repetition, and a reward. The attention step is crucial. Without it, the process is ineffective. A study from the University of Zurich found that just 10 minutes a day of focused breathing and labeling emotions strengthened the anterior cingulate cortex in only 20 sessions. This amounts to a total of 4 hours over 3 weeks, demonstrating how a small, consistent time investment can yield significant results. Real-life translation. Let's consider a practical example. A person starting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at 37 initially struggled and felt defeated. They applied the 4-step loop. The trigger was the fear of failure. For attention, they kept a nightly journal, writing 2 sentences about one mistake. For repetition, they practiced the same escape technique 50 times with a partner. The reward was successfully executing the move during a live practice session. After 8 months, this person competed. Even though they lost, a brain scan showed a thicker prefrontal cortex. This same process can be applied to other challenges, such as learning to code or having difficult conversations at work. The misuse of positivity. It is important to distinguish between helpful optimism and toxic positivity. Telling yourself everything happens for a reason after a major setback can be counterproductive. A more effective approach is specific and constructive optimism. For example, instead of thinking "I'm doomed" after a failed presentation, one could think, "That presentation failed because the story was not well structured." A 2023 Stanford study showed that this type of specific self-assessment activates the brain's error monitoring networks, which helps us learn from our mistakes. Build your challenge portfolio. It can be beneficial to approach challenges in a diversified way. You can incorporate both small and large challenges into your life. Small challenges could include a 30-second cold shower, having 1 difficult conversation per week, or learning 3 new words in a foreign language each day. Larger challenges might include training for a marathon or starting a new business venture. Accumulating successes in these challenges helps to build a new identity, shifting your mindset from "I'm trying" to "this is who I am." Social glue counts more than willpower. Building resilience is not something you have to do alone. In fact, A 2023 review of 42 studies concluded that social support is a better predictor of recovery from adversity than IQ, income, or even prior mental health. When we connect with people we trust, our brains can synchronize through mirror neurons and the release of oxytocin, which helps to reduce our perception of threats. It is important to connect with supportive friends and join communities with shared interests. The recovery paradox. It may seem counterintuitive, but the most resilient people are often the ones who prioritize rest. NASA found that a 20-minute nap could restore half of the cognitive function in sleep-deprived pilots. Athletes refer to this principle as supercompensation, where the body recovers and becomes stronger. Your brain needs this recovery time as well. Without adequate rest, the process of neuroplasticity becomes less effective. Therefore, recovery should be considered an essential part of the process, not an optional reward. Measuring progress without losing your mind. Tracking your mood is not always a reliable way to measure progress, as emotions can be inconsistent. It is more effective to track your actions and efforts. For example, you can count the number of calls made, pages written, or minutes spent meditating. Using a simple whiteboard to mark each completed action can be a powerful visual tool. After several weeks, this record of your efforts will provide a more objective story of your progress than your fluctuating emotions will. If you are finding this information helpful, please take a moment to share one small challenge you plan to start today in the comments below. According to a study from Ohio State University, writing down a goal increases the likelihood of achieving it by 42%. Your commitment may inspire others. Common pitfalls and how to dodge them. There are common obstacles to building resilience. To avoid the trap of comparison, consider unfollowing social media accounts that only show perfected outcomes for 30 days. To combat perfectionism, make your initial goals smaller, such as running for only 1 minute and then gradually increasing the time. To prevent all or nothing thinking after a setback, adopt a never miss twice rule. Research shows that people who forgive themselves for a mistake are 67% more likely to get back on track within a week. Culture as a shortcut. The culture you immerse yourself in can significantly influence your habits. To build resilience more easily, surround yourself with people and environments where perseverance is the norm. For example, you could join a gym where rest is viewed as active recovery, or a work environment that values progress over perfection. The culture of a group provides a powerful force that can help support your own development. When to ask for backup. There are times when mindset shifts alone are not enough. If you are experiencing persistent low mood or an inability to function for several weeks, the brain's cycle of change can be interrupted. In these cases, professional help such as therapy or medication can be necessary. A 2024 Journal of the American Medical Association study showed that a combination of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRI, helped restore hippocampal volume in patients with post-traumatic stress disorder within 6 months. Seeking professional support is a form of mental health maintenance, not a sign of weakness. If you would like to see more content that makes science accessible, please subscribe to the channel. New videos are posted every Friday, and the comments section is a place for community discussion. In conclusion, perseverance is not an innate trait but a skill that can be systematically developed. In this framework, stress is treated as data, attention is the key resource, repetition builds the new pathways, and recovery solidifies the changes. By repeatedly applying this process, you can physically change your brain over time. The next step is to choose one small challenge, write it in the comments, and apply this 4-step loop for 7 days. After 1 week, you will have taken a meaningful step towards strengthening your prefrontal cortex, calming your amygdala, and becoming someone who follows through on their goals.